Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. All the talk at the final Formula 1 round of 2022 surrounded the end of Sebastian Vettel's career. One man left in the shadows was his former teammate Daniel Ricciardo, not to mention Mick Schumacher and Nicholas Latifi. But in many ways it's a shame that Daniel Ricciardo lost his race seat when he did, because he's a driver deserving of far more of a fanfare than he got. We may never see him in an F1 race ever again. And it's a shame because once upon a time we talked about Daniel Ricciardo as a future world champion. So why is he so underrated now? Well, that is what we're going to take a look at today. This is Formula 1 Underrated episode 20. Check out the playlist after watching this video and make sure you subscribe today. Lots of cool motorsport things are going to be happening in 2023.
Grosjean, he was complaining about you. That you were, dangerous driving what you're doing, man.
Grosjean?
Yeah.
What the fuck was I doing?
Yeah, because you were on the outside and dangerous, you came back, wow man, you pushed off the track, whoa.
I didn't even know I was racing Grosjean. Alright. Alright, cool.
Thank you.
Excusez-moi.
Then the last lap. That was fun, but then they said to you, you're dangerous as well.
Yeah. Fuck them all.
Born in Perth, Australia to an Italian racing father, Daniel Ricciardo, like almost all racing drivers, started in karting at the age of 9. He made his car debut in 2005 in Australian Formula Ford, but in older machinery he was uncompetitive. He moved to Formula BMW in 2006 in both Asia and the UK. He took 2 wins and finished 3rd in the Asian series. He moved to Formula Renault in 2007 but didn't really have much success, and I'm honestly surprised he was given opportunities beyond this, instead of ending up at the back of a V8 supercars grid like most Australians who struggle in Europe. It paid off though. A year later he won the West European Formula Renault Cup, finished 2nd overall in the Euro Cup, and followed that with the British Formula 3 Championship in 2009 whilst racing for Carlin. In 2010 he raced in the Formula Renault 3.5 series and finished runner-up behind Michael Aleshin by 2 points. He raced in the series in 2011 but only finished 5th overall as he missed 4 races as he had other plans in the works.
Waiting to see how this one plays out. So far, Ricciardo hasn't been able to unsettle the race leader. Max Chilton has just stayed exactly where he needs to be, just out of harm's reach, and it's absolute focus now that'll save him. Oh, Ricciardo closes right in, exactly as I'm saying it. Chilton wibbles around a little coming into the Beckett's S's, and that near second gap is now down to a couple of tenths, if that. Ricciardo with a head of steam out of the Chapel Curve. He's going around the outside. He's going to have to be brave, but he's got the grip, and Chilton's on the dirtier side as they get into the braking area, wheel to wheel. Let's have a look at it again. Ricciardo has the lead. Chilton tries to fight back, but I fear that's done and dusted.
Daniel Ricciardo first tested a Formula 1 car at the end of 2009 and he was quick. He was given a shared reserve testing role with Brendan Hartley for both the Red Bull and Toro Rosso teams. Red Bull decided to loan Ricciardo out to the small Spanish HRT team, replacing Narain Karthikeyan. He made his debut in the British Grand Prix and competed in 11 Grand Prix to see out the year. He scored 0 points, of course. No one at HRT ever scored points. In their brief 3-year Formula 1 journey, Ricciardo never finished higher than 18th in a race. Again, not unusual for HRT. Antonio Liuzzi got their best ever result with 13th in the 2011 Turkish Grand Prix. But Daniel Ricciardo did finish most of the races he started, and it was a good way of getting some experience before joining Toro Rosso for the 2012 season. He scored points on his Toro Rosso debut at his home race in Australia, but would have to wait a long time to get more. In fact, 10 Grand Prix came and went before he scored 2 more points at Spa. He finished the season 18th with 10 points and behind teammate Jean-Eric Vergne. Ricciardo showed significant improvements in 2013. He outqualified and outscored Vergne. In fact, over the 2 seasons, he beat Jean-Eric Vergne 30-7 in qualifying. Jean-Eric Vergne is no slouch, but Ricciardo left the double Formula E champion in the dust in qualifying at least. It was that incredible one-lap pace that convinced Red Bull to promote Daniel Ricciardo to replace fellow Australian Mark Webber. And 2014 turned out to be an incredible season for Ricciardo. He took his first wins in Formula 1, the first in the Canadian Grand Prix, making him just the 4th Australian to win a Formula 1 race, behind Jack Brabham, Alan Jones and Mark Webber. He followed it up with back-to-back wins in Hungary and Belgium, and by year's end was third in the championship and the only non-Mercedes driver to win a race in 2014. He was still some 150 points behind winner Lewis Hamilton, but not bad for a first season with a front-running team. He even beat his teammate Sebastian Vettel. Vettel left for Ferrari and was replaced by Russian Daniel Kvyat. But 2015 was a difficult year for Red Bull. The Renault engine was too slow compared to Mercedes and Ferrari, and they struggled to compete with the top teams. Ricciardo only got 2 podiums at Singapore and Hungary, and finished behind Kvyat in the championship, despite demolishing him in qualifying. 2016 was better and Daniel Ricciardo was back on top form. He got a number of podiums and took a win in Malaysia, but Kvyat was replaced after the Russian Grand Prix by a young Dutchman by the name of Max Verstappen, who won on his first start with Red Bull, mostly thanks to the Mercedes pair crashing into each other. But the writing was on the wall for Ricciardo at this point, something most of us have only seen with hindsight. Ricciardo again finished third in the World Championship behind the Mercedes pair. In 2017, Ricciardo and Red Bull were dropped behind the Ferraris in terms of pace, and reliability was far worse. Ricciardo won his 5th race in Azerbaijan, but a run of failures to finish towards the end of the season meant he finished 5th overall, still ahead of teammate Max Verstappen. His final Red Bull season was the worst. 2018 was horrible for Ricciardo. He made contact with his teammate in Azerbaijan, causing both cars to retire. A shame, as Verstappen and Ricciardo seem to have quite a good relationship outside of a race seat. He won in China and Monaco, but 8 retirements, a tied most in the 2018 season, saw Ricciardo only finish 6th in the championship and some way off teammate Verstappen, 79 points between them. Ricciardo left Red Bull at the end of the year.
Yes, boys.
Daniel Ricciardo, you are our hero. Unbelievable.
Daniel Ricciardo joined Renault for 2019 alongside Nico Hülkenberg. Early in the season, he was involved in a number of crashes and a couple of failures to finish due to mechanical issues, but scored points in China, Monaco and Canada to get his season moving. His highest finish was 4th in the Italian Grand Prix, and Daniel Ricciardo ended the season in 9th in the championship, his worst position since leaving Toro Rosso. The only positive was he did better than Hülkenberg, who was replaced for 2020 by Esteban Ocon. The car was a lot more competitive and reliable, and Daniel Ricciardo scored points in all but 3 races, being an ever-present in the points after the Spanish Grand Prix and even getting a couple of podiums, 3rd at the Nürburgring and Imola. He finished 5th overall in the championship and was well clear of teammate Esteban Ocon. He moved to McLaren for 2021 but struggled up against young teammate Lando Norris, pretty much from the start. Whilst Lando fought for 2nd in the championship in the first half of the season, Ricciardo was clinging onto a place in the top 10. Whilst Lando Norris got 4 podiums and nearly won in Russia, if not for a late shower, Ricciardo seemed happy just to score points. Until the Italian Grand Prix. Daniel Ricciardo qualified well, lining up for the sprint race in 5th. Ricciardo got past his teammate in Lewis Hamilton, and even after contact with Pierre Gasly sent the Frenchman wide, Ricciardo managed to get 3rd on the grid for the race. He took the lead off the start, and as chaos reigned behind him, Daniel Ricciardo took his 8th and final Formula 1 win. He finished the year 8th in the standings, and 2022 was not going to be as kind to Ricciardo. He was well off the pace of teammate Norris and finished the year 11th in the standings. His best result was 5th in Singapore, and his poor results had led to strenuous attempts by McLaren to get shot of the Australian. They had a shiny new Australian in Oscar Piastri, who they pinched off Alpine. That meant Ricciardo had to go, and McLaren have paid a hefty fee to get Ricciardo out of his contract. I hope it's worth it. With that, Daniel Ricciardo was without a race seat for 2023, so for now it looks like that his career in Formula 1 is over.
Does get away well. Alongside him is Daniel Ricciardo, and Ricciardo is inching into the lead. Daniel Ricciardo will have the inside line here ahead of Max Verstappen. Hamilton has gone away well too. It's Ricciardo into the first chicane ahead of Verstappen. Hamilton on the outside of Lando Norris. Giovinazzi's made up a place past Carlos Sainz, and he's now battling with Charles Leclerc. And to the Curva Grande we go. It is Ricciardo that leads. He left Red Bull, he went to Renault, he's gone to McLaren, he's going to get the victory now. It's McLaren and Ricciardo that win the Italian Grand Prix.
Maybe not quite over. Red Bull have taken back their former driver, and Ricciardo will be with the team as a third driver. If Perez or Verstappen need to drop out, then Daniel Ricciardo will be there in a flash. But how did this happen? When Daniel Ricciardo arrived on the scene in 2014, many thought that this guy was going to be a future champion. So why did it never happen? Well, despite clearly being talented, his rise happened at the wrong time. Red Bull had won 4 championships in a row, but they were on the downturn. The Renault engine just wasn't quick enough, despite the extremely good chassis. And to be honest, Ricciardo in his prime was racing at a time when anyone who wasn't in a works Mercedes Formula 1 car just wasn't going to win championships. So Ricciardo peaked without the machinery being capable of giving him world championship wins. After that, he dropped into the midfield, and sadly, he sunk like a stone. I think we will see Ricciardo race again. I'm almost certain NASCAR is on his bucket list. And of course, Bathurst and the V8 supercars are an option. Maybe even Le Mans and IndyCar. Daniel Ricciardo has the talent to tip his hat towards anything and be successful. Even with his 8 wins and his charisma, Daniel Ricciardo is very much underrated. So we say goodbye to Daniel Ricciardo, at least for now. If something unfortunate happens to one of the Red Bull drivers, like accidentally drinking rat poison from a shoe, or even worse, Foster's, make sure you check out the Formula 1 underrated playlist. We have 20 episodes in this series now. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Next week, my reaction video to my Formula 1 2022 predictions will be coming out, and a review of the final round of Extreme E is due any day now. Leave a like and tell your friends. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.